Welcome, 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 everyone. This is Tracy Wagner with Versatile Inspirations, and today we're going to be discussing who's on your spirit team. This is actually continuing down our Angels and Spirit 101 journey that corresponds with my upcoming course, Angels and Spirit 101, that will be available on Udemy, Skillshare, and in the Lightworkers and Earth Angels Academy. And I'll have those links down below if you'd like to visit them. So we're going to be learning who's on your spirit team. When I first started doing angel readings and doing intuitive readings, a lot of people asked me, who's on my spirit team? Who is in spirit that's around me? What angels do I have around me? And it is true that we have certain angels, our guardian angels are with us throughout our life, and other angels. But did you know that you can call on so many different light beings? It's just crazy how many there are out there. You could never be alone. You always have someone with you, especially your guardian angel is always with you. And calling on these other light beings just makes you feel loved and cared for and like you're not alone, because you're not. You never are alone. Unless you want to be and you ask for it, then you can be alone for a little while, but your guardian angel is never far behind. So I just want to give you kind of an overview of this area of the course that I will be teaching of Angels and Spirit 101, because there's so much to it. I kind of had to condense it, and this is going to be a longer video, and I apologize for that. It's going to be kind of long, so you may have to look at it a little bit and then go out of it and come back for a while. It won't be over, I don't think, 20 minutes, but you never know when we get to talking. So I'm going to go ahead and screen share, and then we'll get started. All right, and so there again, we are talking about who's on your spirit team. And there, we can call on so many light beings. Who can you think of that you would want help with? And they can be there with you. So let me go ahead and just first off start talking about the angels, because everybody asks about angels and what angels are with you, and who can you call on. And there are so many different types of angels that I kind of want to cover that just a little bit. So some people believe there are tiers to heaven, which is fine, but in my experience, heaven is here on earth a state of our being. Where are you at? Are you feeling the heaven here on earth? I hope you are, because the angels help provide that for you. We have free will, but when we ask the angels for guidance and we acknowledge their presence, the messages that we can receive from them are just limitless. So that can actually help us feel connected to that spirit, to feel a little bit more like we're here for a purpose. We're here, we can get that divine guidance that will help us flow through our life. But I do believe that there are what I call spheres within heaven of angels, because Creator God had made the angels as messengers. But there's some that are a little more, well, if we think about a business, you've got the CEO, you've got managers and supervisors, and you have the workers. And it's kind of that way with the angels, I feel. That's an easier way to look at it. And the ones that are the closest to God or Creator, the ones that actually interact with Creator God more hands-on, would be this first sphere. So that first sphere, you're going to have the seraphim, the cherubim, and the thrones. So they're going to be kind of those workers that are working closely with Creator God. Then you have the second sphere. So the second sphere, we have the virtues, the powers, and the dominions. And so those are kind of the go-betweens between the third sphere, which we'll talk about in a second, and the first sphere. So they're going to be taking care of different things. So the third sphere are the principalities, the archangels, and the angels. And you're probably going to feel these the most because these are the angels that were created as our as physical being go-betweens between us and the higher realm, which is heaven or whatever you term it to be. It is that space, that heavenly space, that divine space. So they go between and take our messages up so that they can be answered, we can be heard, and there's that still connection there. We have always a connection in spirit, which is our higher self or our spirit self, but the angels have a little bit more juice to them, if you would. They have more of a connection. They're there for helping us to flow through our life a lot easier. And when we come to the earth realm, we have what we want to do. We have those things that we want to accomplish, those things we want to learn, those gifts and talents we want to share, and things that we want to do to help Earth as a whole. And so the angels help us stay on the track and find those little serendipitous moments that we can capitalize on. So they're there for our help. The archangels, especially the principalities, kind of help the archangels, but the archangels we can call upon. And if we are, especially like if our career or our business or what we love to do hobby-wise is one of their traits, then they're with us a lot to give us guidance and to be our muse at times, sometimes just to give us that feeling of like we can do it. So as in an archangel, if you're working in the medical field or if you're an energy healer, you're probably going to be working with Archangel Raphael a lot, or he's going to be in your sphere quite a bit. So you may see green a lot. So that's the archangel that may be working with you. And the angels, there's so many different kinds of angels that it's hard to just talk about angels in general because there's so many different kinds. As you can see, different spheres, but then in the angel realm, there's so many different things that can be related to just angels, like our guardian angels or the angels that are here on earth, the earth angels that have angels that help them. We always can have that presence of angels around us, especially if we're grieving or if we are sad. A lot of times we can have a host of angels, a choir of angels that are behind us, helping us and making us feel better, or at least be able to let that grief run its course and still feel hope, even if we are grieving. So the angels, they're always around you. Next, I want to talk about ascended masters. These are great beings to work with, especially if you are needing some inspiration. So some of them can be Jesus, Mother Mary, Buddha, Krishna, Ganesha, Confucius, and Kuan Yin. These are wonderful beings to work with, no matter what it is that you're needing. If you're needing maybe a little bit of help with your meditation, maybe you can call on Buddha. Maybe you need some help being wise, call on Confucius. these are great beings to have in your corner. Just call on them, and that energy, you'll be able to feel it and recognize it and flow with that. Saints are great to actually call upon. They're very wise, and their energy is just very grounding and but uplifting at the same time. The amount of wisdom that they hold is just amazing, especially if you go with what they were here doing on earth, because these saints were here on earth. So St. Francis, you'll see St. Francis in a lot of garden statuaries. He was really close to nature, to birds. And when you work with St. Francis, he can help you work with nature even more. Say you're a park ranger and you want to feel closer to just that nature that you're out protecting. Call on St. Francis and he can actually help you with that. Some other saints, St. Hildegard, St. Germain of the Purple Flame, St. Bernadette, St. Padre Pio, and St. Nicholas. These are all saints that you can call upon. St. Bernadette, I go over the story in the Angels and Spirit 101 course, but it's a beautiful story. But St. Bernadette, in Lourdes, France, has this beautiful area that is dedicated to Mother Mary, because she had a vision of Mother Mary. And she had been told at one point to dig in a certain spot, and she found a well. And in Lourdes, France, this is where the healing waters are. So just by visiting, people go there to be healed, to get messages. It's a beautiful location. Now, St. Nicholas is known as Santa Claus, but he was a real person, and he was very giving. And that nature of giving, whether you're a volunteer or you are working closely with others, that sense of volunteerism or that sense of giving can be really worked with St. Nicholas. Now, did you ever think of calling on your ancestors or family members that are in spirit, or others? You really should, because there's so much wisdom within your family tree, and not even just the family tree of now, but we're looking at our ancestors, people that came before us. Maybe we don't even have documentation, but maybe our past lives. Those people are still connected to you and are still part of your soul family, your spirit family, and you can call on them at any time. There's a lot of wisdom that can be had through all of these different mediums. And so by calling on our ancestors, and just even saying ancestors, or do you know of a family member? Like my grandmother was part of an Indian tribe, and calling on her to maybe help me with different shamanic practices, or maybe asking for just help if I'm doing chanting on my own or drumming can be helpful. Maybe she can give me some guidance on that. Or if I'm making jewelry, calling on her to maybe help me with that, or anything else. Who do you have in your family tree? Or just call on your ancestors. I'm sure there's one that will pop up and that will help you at any time. Pets. Pets are in spirit. I know that those are hard to lose. Trust me, having lost 2 within a year period was very difficult for us. But by knowing that these pets can come through to help us at any time makes it a little bit easier. You can feel them. You can feel their presence, their loving, guiding presence. You can feel them rubbing up on you, or just being in the room. Sometimes I hear the toenails on the wood floor, and I can hear it, and I can feel their presence. They're wonderful to call upon for any kind of help. and for just feeling like you're not alone. Now, I separated pets and animals because pets are close. They are companions. They're our family. Whereas animals, we can call on them as different things, such as totem animals, or maybe we were close to some kind of animal while we were growing up. They're there in spirit as well, and we can call on them just as easily as anything else. Call upon any of the animals that you've come around, or call upon a totem animal to be with you that can help guide you. Nature. It's interesting. A lot of people don't even think about calling on nature. Nature is bountiful, and it's one of the things when we're here on earth that we can't not come into contact with. Even if you're in downtown New York City, you still have trees, you still have plants, you still have Central Park that you can go to. All of those things are still in spirit. We have the trees, we have mushrooms, we have flowers, we have snow, we have weather. There is bountiful nature in heaven or in spirit, because they are energy, and that energy never dies. It just goes on and transforms. Elementals, especially when we're here on earth, one of the best things about being here on earth is the real strong connection we have to elementals. Now, elementals, it's actually a term for angels, but elementals have dedicated themselves to really work with Mother Earth, Mother Gaia. And so their energy is very potent here in the physical world, the physical realm. So we can call on so many elementals to work with. That would be fairies and pixies, gnomes and brownies, totem animals like we discussed earlier, unicorns. And unicorns are interesting because they are both here in the physical realm, and they are very they're light being. They are divine, beautiful creatures, and they have that love quality and purity quality, and because of that, their light shines brightly here and in heaven or in the ether. Pegasuses, mermaids and mermen, and tons of other nature spirits, including green men, green women, green children, and green animals. Divas, sprites, elves, leprechauns, and many, many more. There's so many of them, and working with them just really helps connect us, which a lot of them are connecting with Mother Gaia and others. There are so many. Like I said, you can just go through a history book or just learn about someone from the past and bring them up. I've even heard of people talking about Abraham Lincoln, that they actually called upon him for something. I don't remember what it was, but called upon Abraham Lincoln. And funny enough, one of my guides, especially when I do energy healing, one of my guides looks very much like Abraham Lincoln, but he's told me he's more of a medical professional than Abraham Lincoln. So it's not Abraham Lincoln, he just looks an awful lot like him. So others that we can call upon are Mother Teresa, White Buffalo Calf Woman, Yogananda, Babaji, Gandhi, Osiris, Isis, Horus, Mary Magdalene, Merlin, Joan of Arc, and Einstein, just to name a few. That is a lot, isn't it? That is a lot. You should not feel alone whatsoever. You can call on any of these beings, these beautiful light beings, to be with you. And if you're feeling lonely, try calling on Jesus, Mother Mary, Mary Magdalene, one of those divine beings that can be with you and make you feel loved and make you feel not alone. There are so many beings out there that are just waiting for you to call upon them. And I hope you do. Thank you so much for spending some time with me today. I so appreciate it. As always, I'm sending you and yours love, light, and eternal blessings. Take care.